today we're going to be doing finding the rule. So last lesson we had a rule and we used that rule to complete our table. This time we've got a table and we have to discover what rule they used. Okay, so let's have a look. They've tried to give you little hints in this first question. So here's our table. Now we're always looking at what's going on as we go from the top number to the bottom number. So I always draw in these red arrows, so you're thinking, what have I done to the 3 to get a 9? What have I done to the 2 to get a 6? What have I done to 1 to get a 3? And what have I done to 0 to get a 0? The same thing has to happen each time for it to be a rule. Okay, so it's easier if you look at the numbers on this end. So what have we done to 3 to get a 9? Well, maybe we added 6. Let's see if we did that here. Did we add 6 to get this? No, because that would have been an 8 if we did that. So we're not adding 6. So let's come back and have another look. What have we done to the 3 to get a 9? We have got a bigger number, haven't we? It's given you a 9, so you're either adding or you're multiplying. We weren't adding, so we must be multiplying. So 3 times what gives me 9? It's 3 times 3 gives me 9. Let's see if it works on the others. Does 2 times 3 give me 6? Yes, it does. Does 1 times 3 give me 3? Yes, it does. Does 0 times 3 give me 0? Yes, it does. So in other words, what we're doing to get our number on the bottom, which is our y, so we always start with our bottom letter, which is y in this case. So we're going to have y equals, now what have we done to that x to get a 3? What have we done to the x to get our y number? We can see we've multiplied each one of them by 3. So what we've done is x times 3. So that would be the answer, except we know that we can simplify that further, and we're going to write it as y equals 3x. And that's our answer. So they did give you a little hint up here, and what actually has to be in here is a 3. All right, let's look at the next one. So again, we're going from the top number to get the bottom in each case. So draw arrows in. Now what have we done to the 2 to get a 6? Well, we've got a bigger number, so we may have added or we may have timesed. We've added 4. Let's see if that works. We add 4, that works. Add 4, that works. Add 4, use your calculator, and that works. So in each case, we're adding 4. So to get our letter on the bottom, our y, we are going to take our x number and plus 4. So that is our answer, x plus 4. They gave you that hint up here. We'll just fill in the 4 that should be there. All right, so let's look at a few more. So in the next one, it says y equals 10 minus something x. Well, we'll have a look at that in a minute, but in each case we're drawing our arrows in. Now they have given you a hint here. They've said to get your y number, your bottom letter, you're going to do 10 take away something x. So let's see, if we do 10 take away our x number here, which is 2, does that give us 8? Yes, it does. Let's see what happens here. If we do 10 take away our x number, which is 1, do we get a 9? Yes, we do. If we do 10 take away the x number 0, do we get a 10? Yes, we do. If we do 10 take away minus 1 for our x, do we get an 11? Use your calculator, we do. So it's actually just 10 minus x for our rule. So what could be this thing here then? Well, that would just be a 1, wouldn't it? So it's 10 minus 1x, which would simplify to 10 minus x. Okay, so the one down the bottom here, they're not giving you any hints on this one. So let's see what we can do. We'll draw our arrows in from top to bottom. So what have we done to the top number to get the bottom? All right, so what have we done to 4 to get 8? We might have added 4, or we might have times by 2. we won't know which one's correct unless we check the others. Let's try adding 4. Do we add 4 here to get 7? Yes. Do we add 4 here to get 6? Yes. Do we add 4 here to get 5? Yes. So in each case we are adding 4. So when we write our rule down, remember we start with our bottom letter. And in this case it's K. So it's K equals, and we took the number on the top, which was a P number, and then we added 4 to it. So that's our rule. Let's try the next one. Draw our arrows in. Okay, so we're looking for our bottom letter, which in this case is J. So it's J equals this time. Alright, now what have we done to 11 to get 22? We might have added 11, or we might have times by 2. Let's see if we're adding 11. Well, that works. 9 plus 11. Does that give 18? No, it doesn't. So it's not adding 11. So let's try the other one. Times by 2. It works here. Does it work here? 9 times 2 is 18, so it does work. 5 times 2 is 10, so that works. And 4 times 2 is 8, so that works. So that means our rule will be J equals whatever's on the top, which is our H, times by 2. So if you simplify that, you'll get J equals 2H. So in these ones, they didn't give you the answer. We had to find the whole thing out ourselves. All right, now we're going to do some harder ones. So these questions can be tricky. All right, so they are harder. But I'll give you a few ways of thinking about it. So the first thing they want us to do is find the formula. Now the formula is the same as the rule. So we're going to find the rule first, and then we're going to complete this empty space in the table after that. All right, so let's just look at the ones where we do have 2 numbers. We're not looking at the last one. So what have we done to 4 to get a 10? Now, we add 6. Does that work? No. I don't know what you'd be timesing by, but it'd be not a whole number. So it's probably not going to be either of those. So I think what they're doing is a mixture. So you're going to end up with a bigger number. So in somehow we're multiplying. But we might also be adding or subtracting with that. So we do a few trial things and see what happens. So let's see what happens if I did times by 2. So we're starting with the 4, remember. If I times by 2, that would give me 8. So to get to 10, I'd have to then add 2, wouldn't I? Let's see if it works on the next one. Times by 2 would give me 6. Add 2 would give me 8. No, that's not working. All right, so my idea there's gone. That's not working. That's out. That's wrong. So let's try something else. If we times by something to give a number bigger than 10, so 4 times 3, that will get me to 12, and then I'll take off 2 to get back to 10. Now let's see if that works. So we'll start here. Times by 3, you get 9. Take away 2, you do get 7. Try the next one. Times by 3, you get 6. Take away 2, you do get 4. Let's try the next one. Times by 3, you get 3. Take away 2, you do get 1. So this is the one that's working, and that's the one we're going to write down for our rule. Okay, so what we're doing is timesing by 3 and subtracting 2. So we start with our bottom letter. So we write H equals, because we always start with our bottom letter. Then we do our F times 3, subtract 2. Now, if we just simplify that slightly for this bit here, we've got 3F, take away 2. And that's your answer. So it's a bit fiddly because you're involving 2 operations, but I hope you can see what I did there. All right, now, we've got to complete this space. So we're going to use this rule now, and they've given you an F number of 7. So what we're doing is exactly what we did last lesson now. We're going to now write down the rule. And now, don't forget there's a times in here. We're going to sub in our 7 for our F. And if you put that in your calculator and work it out, you'll get 19. So that's our missing number. We'll just fill it in up here in red so we can see we worked that one out. All right, let's try this next one over here. Draw in your arrows, but not to the other ones because there's got to be 2 numbers to be finding your rule. Okay, so we're looking at the top number and seeing what we did to the bottom. Let's start over here with the higher numbers. It's easier to work with. So to go from 3 to get a 10, I might have times by 3. That would get me to 9. So then I'd have to add 1. Now let's just see if that works. Try 2. Times by 3, you get 6. Add 1, you do get 7. Let's keep trying. 1 times by 3, you get 3. Add 1, you do get 4. Try the last one. 0 times 3, you get 0. Add 1, you do get 1. So that rule actually is working. So that's going to give us our rule now. So we start our rule or our formula with our bottom letter. Equals, our top numbers are R numbers, times by 3, add 1. And then all we're doing after that is just simplifying the R times 3 bit into 3R. And that's your rule or your formula. So now we're going to complete the table for these 2 numbers. So we're going to take our R number of 4, write our rule down. Don't forget that you have a times in here between the number and the letter. And sub in. S equals 3 times. Our R number is 4. Go to your calculator and work it all out and you'll get 13. And we put it in the table. So now we're doing the last one to complete the table, and our R number up there is 7. Write your rule down. Put your times sign between the number and the letter. Then let's sub in this number. 7 for R. Work it out on your calculator and you'll get 22. And fill in that table. So I hope you're getting a bit of an idea on how we approach these harder ones. I'm going to come back in the next video and just do a couple more examples.